I want to thank you for taking a look at the seven-figure climb, and we're now on day 80. And on day 80, we're going to talk about why transaction size is so important. And we have covered this. We are going to cover some areas more than once. Sometimes I'll cover something, don't feel like I covered it very well. Sometimes I'll cover something and want to give you some information from another perspective. But just in general, the reason transaction size is so important is, first of all, it's very, very expensive to scale. Ad costs are very, very high. And then the other thing you want to think about is it's way easier to get 1,000 people to give you $1,000 than get 1 million people to give you $1, because to get 1 million people to give you $1, you've got to get your message in front of so many people, and eyeballs are expensive. It's very, very expensive to do that. And so what I've said in the past, and I'll say it again, very, very difficult to scale something at 100 or 297 or 497 even, because ad costs are so high. You're going to need to be at 997, 1997, and probably 49.97 is better. And so that's what you want to think about. And like I said, so the first thing that you got to think about when you're building this thing is, how many buyers do I need, and how much is it going to cost me to get those buyers, because buyers are expensive. And then the other thing is, what is the net going to be after all of your expenses come out? And I can tell you, ad costs, they do go up when you're going after a higher quality buyer, but they don't go up a lot. So it's, you're going to make a lot more money selling to a 29.97 buyer or a 49.97 buyer than a 9.97 buyer. And that's ultimately what it's going to look like. So the ROI on your ad spend, the more you're charging, the better it's going to work. The other reason, though, talked about this in the past as well, is the amount of infrastructure it takes to sell to 1,000 people. So if you sell 1,000 courses at $1,000, you make $1 million. Unfortunately, 1,000 buyers of 1,000 courses is going to be a metric ton of tickets. It's going to be a metric ton of people who can't navigate the website. They can't navigate Kajabi. They have forgotten their password. They can't get in. And the more tickets you have, the more expensive, the more customer service issues you have. Now, what's interesting is when you charge 5,000, and you can charge 5,000 for the same service or a little bit more service, you go from 1,000 buyers to 200 buyers. But you also go from a beginner buyer to a much, much more sophisticated buyer. And those people don't tend to have any issues with the websites or remembering their password or any of those issues. And the other thing is, your refund rate, the less you charge, the more refunds you're ultimately going to have. Unfortunately, that's just the nature of the beast, because the cheaper item is going to be to the less sophisticated consumer. And so what you want to think about is, when you're selling something at 1,000, selling to a lot of beginners, you're going to have a lot more refund issues than when you will have at the $5,000 level. Now, the other thing is, at $1,000, you're selling 1,000. At $5,000, you're only selling 200 to get to the same $1 million. And so, just by rule of thumb, you're going to deal with way fewer return issues or customer service issues or refund issues by selling to fewer people. And so, when you're thinking about this, what you do want to do again is think about the end in mind, what it's going to look like, transaction size. It's extremely important. And especially when you get into ad costs, and how long it's going to take. If you're selling something at 500, it's going to take a lot longer to get to critical mass and get the airplane off the ground and make money than if you're selling something at 5,000. And then the great thing about it is, everything gets incrementally easier when you're dealing with more sophisticated buyers and you're dealing with fewer people. And so that's what I want you to think about. Now, I can tell you, I'm still planning on selling at the 997 and 1997 level, and maybe something will change there. That's still the numbers I'm at right now, but we are going to have we're going to have upsell where we are going to immediately sell these people into coaching and get a lot of those people to buy coaching, and we're going to move forward that way. But I just want to give you some insights on transaction size. Appreciate you watching, and we will see you all on the next video, and thanks a lot.